Hello, welcome to the Political Minute with Colin Dawson. In looking at it, I will say I did take 4 days off, went to someplace and totally deplugged. Did a little fishing, did a little mine clearing, spent some money in a different economy area. There's like 10 or 12 things that I could have thought of here to put on, but maybe the best thing about it is that politics is completely moving in a circle. The vote will not be finalized or anything else until December, when all the Electoral College goes forward and puts everything through. The media around the world, the Associated Press being basically almost internationally something nowadays. Other places like Australia are more interested in our election. Norway and fantasy writers over stuff is more interested in our election and seems to be giving a better consensus on it. Being as honest with you as I can. Do I think that we're going to be heading to something like Russia and an internal coup civil war? No, there's a lot of mechanisms that says that this is just consolidation of political power at the top, right going as far as they can, left going as far as they can, over the war on terror. Do I think the left has more political power than the right? I think yes, in a way. Do I think that the left will boldly go forward and not really care where they're looking at? Because there had to be a lot of planning. If you look at this 20-some-year-long war, in the time of Clinton, a Democrat. This is why it's going to go all the way back to Clinton and Bush 1, especially with Iran as much as it's coming in underneath Obama. And everything's going to be tied back together, and it's going to be a huge political study. I think honestly that they're going to go boldly forward without really watching where their feet are at. Simply because most of the big victories that were the homeless populace, and it's like, while Trump is extremely populist of a president and is push populist, he's too geeky, too smart with the individual rounding up of the last gangs. Everybody knows Al Capone, but most people don't know Frank Nitti, and most people don't really know Machine Gun Kelly's real name. And they were kind of like two of his lieutenants in a way, and Machine Gun Kelly went off on his own after that, and he never could get a right person in for that utility area. So it's like he kept moving people in there for his muscle and then turning them out because they couldn't keep things going like that guy did for so long. And even I don't remember Machine Gun Kelly's real name out there. Now, under all this, if you look at it going, they've made movies, Elliot Ness, television shows, everything else over it. People remember Capone. People remember Osama bin Laden. I'm not knocking anything or saying anything has a higher weight other than people know what's happened. In and of this, moving on from there, while he has gotten victories, everything else, I just look at the total numbers of the votes and be like, it said populist vote today on CNN, 73 mil for Trump, 78 mil for Biden. It's unheard of. That's so many people voting. And we still haven't forgiven or gotten rid of all the people who had marijuana felonies so that they can vote. I'm just saying, is there that many legal voters in the United States? Is there that many people who would actually go to the polls? I mean, Saturday Night Live had, the skit with the four black people that were dressed up, very nice, very whatever it is, celebrating election, moving from different place to different place, and they're saying that the voting polls are all closed. And that people were forced to go and vote over at this one voting poll place. And I had one of my wonderful people who has a security camera thing or something else in the house and say that since they are private security, they can do this. And, I don't really want to say that Canon is kin to anybody around here or a bunch of idiot dweebs over in Nashville for whatever it is, trying to be like, you are the retarded one because of something with racial situations and we can scare you pokey-wise or whatever it is. And let's move along with this because, it's just ridiculous. And about how you don't think that people aren't discriminated with that or anything else. When I've been told for my own safety I had to vote at Downtown West Boulevard and cast my ballot. And that I was not allowed to vote in this area, the next area, the next area, the next area, the next area, or the next area. And it was because of white people that say I'm not white. And that I was forced segregation or desegregation on them. Moving right along from that, looking at all the votes, how this is a travesty to our democracy. The media just needs to shut up until December whatever when the votes are finalized and the Electoral College is done. They need to go back to their place of origin, of their own home country, where they go by whatever it is and have never read the Constitution. I know that in this area with so many people that are basically foreign nationals that they let out of the prison or they come out of basically they're on a work release thing. They don't count as USA citizens. Their family, everybody was born here. So you can't teach the Constitution here. You can study it in your house somewhere far away from whatever it is, and you have to be removed from it, and we have our own special news, whatever's put out here. But you need to understand, you need to go back where you came from. Black, white, Cuban, whatever the fucking hell it is. I've fucking had it with it. It's illegal for the press to do any of the things they have said. You do not have rule of royal impunity. You have freedom. It's impossible for you to understand. And even the fact that you are a fascist is illegal in this country. If you are a registered fascist, because fascism descends still from the Mussolini party. He invented it. It's a group we're at war with. Can't be here, just like the Church of England. They can do stuff in their own home and everything else, but they're not allowed to ever say anything on public records or be registered as it. Now, the whole thing is this is an actual triumph of our democracy. Pure triumph of the democracy. End of story. End of everything. This is just how it is. Votes are counted. Votes are done. Where it is populous, or else the majority vote, or a percentage vote, or whatever it is done. You can't just go out there and blatantly say, okay, 88 million voters do live in California. I'm pardoning every one of you felons. Come and vote, and my bus will be there to pick you up. If Trump had done that, he would have won the election. You can't do that in New York and Pennsylvania and be like California doesn't even matter. With New Jersey. Sorry, we forgot New Jersey. The only thing that the media has said is that the majority of the country does not know that. Does not know any part of it. There are many things that are disturbing in this election, but to say that democracy exists is to go through, is to take every single thing and say that the election, just like between Washington and Adams, I do believe, is the second president. Whoever that one was, I don't have my cell phone with me. Forgive me, but I don't have to be totally perfectly right on that one because it'll make you actually look it up. Was not messed around or else messed up by the Third Estate and the new French king that murdered our ally that almost had us go to war with France. The Third Estate was just allowed under certain groups, unless they were here beforehand, to immigrate to this country underneath Bill Clinton. Now, I do know I'm right about that. I think that was actually 93. Maybe went calendar effect, January 1st, 1994. But just in saying whatever it is with it, there are a lot of things out there. Terrorism, that was terrorism. The first time we really had terrorism. An ununiformed, recently made group of people that was in here using every political rally and bringing ships to bring our population back over there and then setting us up for a reinvasion with Britain underneath their peace accords with them. That was how it was played out with us. Counting the votes, making sure everything's going good. That's really good. That is democracy. Making sure that there is not, dead people voting. And no one in this election, and the reason why I'm saying dead people, that's like 1940s to Kennedy, JFK. Reason why no one's saying anything else is because they don't want to look like they have rampant terrorists running through here. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, whatever the last remnants are of it, has made it in here, to wherever it is, from blonde-haired, blue-eyed, whoever it is out there from it, to white-haired, down to the most darkest, black-skinned, black-eyed person that is with another country group in a form of terrorism coming to this country somehow to muck with the system. And whatever's going to be found is going to be handled very quietly behind closed doors in a way, because they're not USA citizens, so they don't have to provide them a public trial. And under this, I can already tell you, Trump has already conceded. The reason why? He fired his defense secretary and a lot of other people that said he should go public with his stuff. And they're like, oh, it's because it went bad for him. I think Trump planned it this way. He's going to let him have as much socialist, whatever it is. He threw the election. And in a way, I think Biden started to try to throw the election 3 weeks after Trump did. And Trump's going to come back in and do a Grover Cleveland after everybody's just kind of sick of whatever it is and being jerked back and forth. And Joe is a good guy. And he probably, he probably did deserve, just on basically all the work he's done for the, country and everything else, probably just over, 2 years of days, being like, yeah, you should have been working in the presidency or something else for like 8 hours each day for like 2 years and 2 months. And, I hate saying that because they've got so much on presidential competency, behavior, proper etiquette. And honestly, they just want to set Donald Trump down, slap his ass around some like they did Jackie Robertson, and be like, this is how you're going to have your fucking silverware, bitch. And you can't say fucking silverware, bitch. Only I can. And that's really what they're getting down around to. And honestly, him firing the secretaries and stuff, since Biden likes stuff being kept under the rug, kept out of there, quiet, in the closet, wherever it is. He's a big closet guy, but it has nothing to do with sexuality, generally speaking, with everything. He's being nice. He's putting in his people that are going to be completely secretive and everything else. And if he wants to do something else, he can. but it's going to be set up more to like how he thinks he runs his stuff, even though he'll want his own personal people in there. And that's just how business people do whenever there's a takeover or anything else. And see, the thing about politicians, all these people graduated political science. And political science, in every single school when I wanted to go to college or something else, I go, if I went to these classes, I'd be stupid with money. I wouldn't know what a budget is. I wouldn't know what values are. I wouldn't know what anything is later on for basically how you can be manipulated. You can be very manipulated. I'd want to sell fake grave sites to these people. These people are completely able to be taken advantage of anywhere out there, no matter how good or how young, how whatever it is. It is just that way. That is what all the political science says, and political science says we can be international with everything. Cash is meaningless. Give it away to the rest of the world, and somehow we'll have value in here. And it's like, so what's value in here? Letting our companies go out there and have our logos in other countries. It's all the way up to political science 301, basically, in a nutshell, and that you need to feel bad for yourself for being successful. My parents told me every day of the week, and this is, I'll be honest, this is how they fucked me up. Told me every day of the week to not worry about making money. Like my dad, didn't matter. You just need to find something to go out there and you like. And honestly, that's the death of every millennial. You're screwed. Generation Z is take everything from the entire world. I'm the only one who's important, and I will never tell you what I can do with my cell phone. And you'll die from a sonic heart attack, or it'll just tase you to death, man. And all the millennials I know of have told their kids, since they have kids, you need to do everything you can to get money. You need to do everything you can. If you go out there and do anything, put it on YouTube. If you go out somewhere, you better be able to go somewhere and you're paying for gold, or do gyms, or something else. Don't care. Get a rock. Take the rocks from any garden that you hate out there, and put them in a thing. Polish them up and let them be shiny, and you can sell them on the side of the road to people. I wish I could be more professional with this, but in and of itself, the situation is I'm just back from vacation. In and of itself, I've never seen so much of a mockery of everything. And it's like, to say that there is actually something to be checked in a democracy, and it's not just, a handshake of like, we're all working together and you don't see our plan as we handshake back and forth to each other. And naturally, we just have a fake fight whenever we transition. Go, you mean that we've lost to the other side? Oh, horrible. We've lost to the other side. No. Anyway, I think I'll leave it right here because I'm just going to start rambling. I know I had a couple of points, but have a wonderful day. Political Minute out. Like and subscribe.